Welcome back to Collie Center, my collie beasts, my collie friends. Today I want to share with you my morning collie workout. Feel free to follow along with me. We're going to start off with a little bit of a warm-up here, and just starting with some arm circles. And when we're doing our arm circles here, we want to just let the momentum of the movement guide our arms around. So we're trying to use as little to no muscular engagement as possible when we're doing these rotations. All right, and then we'll move into some arm crosses. Just get a few in, get the back moving, and then we'll start doing some trunk rotations. Keep the feet planted here and keep looking forward and just focus on rotating the torso, the hips and shoulders. Get some of that spine twisting going on. But it also gives a little bit of twisting and warm up into the knees, ankles, and neck. And then we'll move on to some hip rotations. Nice and deep hip rotations. Moving in one direction. And after about 10 to 15 or so, then we switch it and move in the opposite direction with our hip rotations. And then we'll move into some knee rotations. This is one of my favorite exercises to do for the knees. Helps to get rid of any air pockets and just a good lubrication exercise for knee health and knee mobility. Just keep your weight back in your heels when you're doing this exercise. All right, we're going to move into some wrist rotations right here. And always rotating the stick to the outside of the forearm, keeping the elbow close to the body, the hand about shoulder level. And you want to keep a full grip on the stick. I'm not opening my hand here. And just let the momentum of the stick bring your wrist around. And then we'll go ahead and do some forward and back rotations. And notice how I stop the tip of the weapon, the tip of the stick, on line with my eyes. I'm not flicking it way down by my knees or shins, whacking myself in the leg here. Later, this movement here will actually be a close quarter strike. So it's a good idea to work this out. A little bit of warm up, a little bit of an advanced manipulation later on in your collie practice. Notice that you can pull this one to the 1 chamber, or you could pull it to the 2 chamber. And then let's go ahead and warm up that left hand, just repeating the process of some forward rolls, and then we'll do some forward and back rolls. And for the final part of the warm-up, just getting in some basic angles, 1 and 2 strikes, or down the X, striking right in front of the face, keeping good striking mechanics in that hip and shoulder rotation, and just letting the weapon do the work. And I'll go ahead and switch it onto the left-hand side, just to get some repetitions in. And just as a side note, you can do all of the drills, all the training in today's warm-up with both right hand and left hand. A lot of times I just stick with the right hand, just especially when I'm making videos, because it just keeps the video from being like way too long. And then here we're going to add in all of the diagonal strikes, our angles 1 and 2 downwards and 3 and 4 upwards. Now notice how I'm getting really low on that angle 4, right? A little bit of a squat there. And trying to change the direction here, give you a few different viewpoints, some follow alongs from the back. And it's also a good idea to change your direction like this and just make sure you're able to strike in all the cardinal directions. fun way to get some extra repetitions in. And then I'm going to go ahead and calibrate some basic footwork, some switching of the feet, forehand strikes with my right foot forward, backhand strikes with my left foot forward. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move my sticks, adjust them to about hip and shoulder distance. And today's number one footwork is the side step. I'm starting off facing the center, and then you're going to see that when I step to the left, my left foot leads, and then I slide that left foot back, turning my torso 90 degrees, return to the center, switch my feet, and then repeat on the right side. So this footwork here is traditionally known as the 90-degree side step or the 90-degree fluid side step. This is a close quarter footwork for when you have to get your body out of the way of an opponent's strike very quickly. But it can also be used at close quarters to rotate the body to move from one side to the other and maximize the speed and power of your own strikes, whether you're striking with a weapon or empty hands. So right now I just took the classical training with the classical footwork out, and I'm doing the side step just starting from more of a natural position, a natural stance. You might just be kind of standing around, hanging out, maybe with a group of friends. And it's really important, at least in my own belief, that you can execute your footwork in both ways. In the classical sense, that really emphasizes the development of your body mechanics, but then also in a more natural sense where this is really where you would be applying it out of. All right, so now my second footwork, the work in this morning, is the diamond. And this is pretty much how my morning Kali workouts go. I just keep it nice and simple, do some basics, some fundamentals. Just pick a couple strikes and pick maybe one or two footwork patterns and just work them out. And every day just change it up a little bit. It's a nice way to get some good review in, work some fundamentals, but break up the monotony of doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm going to work my way around the diamond to the left for a few repetitions. And once I'm feeling pretty good with that, then I'll go ahead and switch it to the right. And I'm just taking my time here, just really dialing in, making sure that my feet make it to every point. I'm not floating a step somewhere, at any of the points of the diamond. And I'm just taking my time, working a little bit of the pumping of the stepping leg and some of the variations there with the diamond footwork. All right, and we're going to go ahead and add in some basic strikes with the diamond footwork, just working our angles 1 and 2, going around to the left of the diamond first. You'll notice that when I step that left 45, I strike the 1, the right 45, I strike the 2 when I'm moving forward. Trying to get that calibration moving forward, that the weapon would be landing on the target when that lead stepping foot makes contact to the ground. And then on the way back, when that lead stepping foot, that front leg is sliding back to the point of the diamond. So just a little bit of calibration work there as well. But just working on some basic strikes with the footwork. This is really the essential skill when it comes to Kali, is the ability to move your feet and strike your weapon at the same time. All right, we're going to switch it now. We're going to go to the right of the diamond, and I'm going to flip the strikes. So I'm going to strike 2 and then angle 1. So as I step right 45 on the reverse triangle, there's my angle 2. Left 45 up the forward triangle, there's my angle 1. Still the same timing on the calibrations to the lead foot, the foot that's in front, whether I'm moving forward or moving back. And that's pretty much what my Kali workout was this morning. This is a nice little summary video. As I'm filming this video, it's a nice little cool down from my Kali workout. I added a few other different like striking combinations with the footworks and stuff, but this is pretty much the gist of what I worked on this morning. If you want to stick around for a few more minutes towards the end of this video, then I'll also show you what else I've been working on. I've been adding a new training method into my training that I've been finding a lot of benefits in. So yeah, just hang out with me here for a few minutes. So about a month ago, I started this training method called rope flow. This was founded by David Weck of the Weck method, and the rope flow is really good for training the natural body mechanics for athleticism development. And one of the things that I have been finding with working the rope flow for about a month, maybe a little over a month now, is I've been finding where my strengths in my body mechanics are that have been naturally developed through the Kali training. But I've also have been finding some places in my body mechanics where they are not developed quite efficiently. And the rope is a really cool tool because it will give you that feedback. It'll let you know when you're applying your body mechanics well and when you're not. When your body mechanics are lacking, then the rope will hit you in the legs or hit you somewhere on the body and let you know. But when the mechanics are very good and correct, then the flow of the rope will continue. So I've been experimenting with rope flow and trying to find ways to incorporate some of the Kali mechanics and even some of the Kali footwork. Not doing too much of that here, but a little bit of exploration in it. But you may notice a lot of similar mechanics that you find in Kali or that you experience yourself in your Kali training that you're seeing here in rope flow, because athletics are athletics across the board. So if this is something that looks like you may want to give it a try, basically what I'm using is a double braided rope, or like a marine style rope, about 1/2 inch thick, which gives it a good weight. It's not too heavy but not too light. You don't want a super light rope. You want something that's got a little bit of weight to it, so it has a nice flow, and then you can really work your mechanics around it. And I'll be starting to show some basic exercises, some movements and flows with rope flow on my Back to Primal YouTube channel. I'll put the link down below, and I'll also put it up in the corner of the screen right now if you want to go check some of this out. Or just YouTube rope flow in the search. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me today for some training, and I'll catch you back here next time.